If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. Alright, Baby Keem released his new album, The Melodic Blue, last week on September 10th, and this was an album that I talked about a lot on this channel. Baby Keem is someone who I've been really keeping up with over the past couple of months, ever since y'all put me on the Discord. Still, thank y'all for that, and if you're not part of the Discord, go join it in the description. But ever since y'all put me onto him, I've really been following his career, been getting into his stuff. I've listened to everything he's put out so far, from his first, EP to his first two projects that he now put out, to this debut album, The Melodic Blue, on which he's now taking a really more serious approach to his music. So let's talk about what I liked about this thing, what I disliked, and how this thing fits into his discography. So The Melodic Blue was kind of preceded by a lot of singles that did really well. We had that Hooligan Freestyle, we had that No Sense and stuff like that. We had Durag Activity with Travis Scott. We had Family Ties with Kendrick Lamar. So we already had him, being co-signed by two of the biggest artists in the game. So obviously there was a lot of expectations on this thing, also by me, but for different reasons than what I'm usually excited about for a record, because Baby Keem to me was always someone who I thought was really capable of putting together like a serious body of work, like a body of art that is conceptually cohesive. He has his reasoning behind every song and how they fit together, and that's what I was looking for the most on this new record. He's someone who doesn't really stick to one sound, but can do a lot with his voice and with the instrumentals he's rapping over. Also, leading up to this thing on Twitter, he's expressed his passion for producing, and that being one of his favorite things to do, besides, of course, doing the vocals, doing all that. His heart is with producing, with mastering and stuff like that, and you can really hear that on this record, because in a lot of ways this does have a lot of experimental parts. Now, the songs vary across all different type of moods. We have a lot of that like baby voice Keem on the first couple of tracks, on Range Brothers with Kendrick Lamar, which now everyone is taking that part with Top of the Morning from and putting it on TikTok or wherever. I didn't really like that song too much. I thought it was okay. Still, that part with Top of the Morning is kind of weird to me, with Kendrick going off beat a little bit and stuff like that. But that's one thing that I want to point out right here, because also on the last couple of tracks, like on the deep cuts, especially on Boo Man, for example, Baby Keem is sometimes going off beat or doing these really weird flow patterns of just using the instrumental in ways that you're not really used to, and to the listener at first it sounds off. I had, for example, the same thing with that Detroit sound that is going on right now when Yachty dropped that project with all of the artists from Detroit featured on there, and at the first listen, it sounds kind of weird, but the more you listen to it, the more it actually sounds intentional, and the more you actually see the effort and the art behind it. So that's also something that I actually respect Baby Keem for pushing out of his comfort zone, even though at this point that is his comfort zone, and trying new things. Also, not using those two Kendrick Lamar features and that Travis Scott feature. We also have Don Toliver on here, by the way, which I didn't like that track too much. It was kind of a generic Don Toliver verse on there, and some of these songs on here generally are a bit basic, like Pink Panties or South Africa. Even though he does use a lot of great catchy hooks on there, they just don't sound like boundary pushing, while a lot of the other stuff really does. And what I wanted to say was that he doesn't use those big name features, those big cosigns, to just make a hit that he knows is going to go number one, but he actually uses them in a way that allows him to complete the song in the way that he wanted the song to be completed by those. Now, I think the best moments on here are actually the tracks that are not going to get played as much, just because they're not up tempo, they're not some hype songs. For example, Issues, for example, Lost Souls, and especially Scars. I thought that was also a really beautiful song. 16 as well, the outro to it was an amazing song to me. So those are my highlights on this thing. What I also like is that Vent was on here. Vent was a leak that we've had for quite a while. I don't think anyone was really expecting it to be on here, but I can tell you the final version goes really hard. So I'm really happy that this thing made it onto the final project, because that's amazing to listen to. Looking at this thing from like a bigger bird's eye view, I think that he could have stuck more to a cohesive pattern or to a cohesive concept with the album. That was what I was looking forward to the most, but it didn't really fit. Some of the songs were still very surface scratching. You couldn't really, recognize a combining theme for all the songs, which I actually thought we would see more of. But, it's still Baby Keem type of style. He always does this. He does these very basic, just dumbed down songs, but behind those dumb lyrics, you can actually find a deeper meaning in them. That's something that I respect about Baby Keem a lot, and I talked about that in the past too. But this is, when you look at his first 2 tapes that he released, this is definitely another step up in his career. It's really amazing and great to see, and so interesting and inspirational to see this man go through his artistic phases with his first self-titled, with Die For My Bitch, with now this new thing, because the Melodic Blue is like a real album. The first, it's actually 3 projects. His first EP, Hearts and Darts, counts as that as well. But his first 2 projects, those songs were like 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes of just him, those little snippets, you feel me, where he just wanted to catch a vibe. But on this album, he actually sat down and developed real songs with actual song structures. He spent a lot more time with songwriting, even though, as I already said, it's still surface level Baby Keem, but that's his style. We can't blame him for that. And he really made those songs full songs that are like his legacy. That is what people are still going to listen to in a couple of years when they go back to Baby Keem and his first album. And I like the way that he used these features, because before that he wasn't really working with features, and he now got Kenny and Travis and Don Toliver on here, so he's gonna go big. And I'm telling y'all, the next one is gonna be even better than this one, because so far the development and the growth as an artist has been straight linear, going up for Baby Keem, and I can't wait to see what we're getting from him in the future. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this. Now I want to know what you think about this. How did you like the Melodic Blue? Were you hyped for it? What were your favorite songs? What were your least favorite songs? How did you think he incorporated those features from Kendrick Lamar and Travis Scott? Do you think the album had a underlying concept that I just didn't get? That's going to be really interesting to see what y'all think, so let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.